Hello guys, the heavens have opened up and I've just made the best purchase of all time. When I saw this notebook, my eyes bugged out. It was like the first time I walked into Whole Foods. When I walked into Whole Foods, I was about 8 years old, I think, and it was like the heavens opened up. Trumpets were playing, the sun was shining, every apple was gleaming at me. It was in Hawaii. I'll remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday, but that is the feeling that I got when I walked into Office Depot recently. And no, this is not an ad, but I walked into Office Depot recently and I saw there a perfectly customizable notebook. Guys, this is what I've been searching for all my life. And there are binders, there are binder notebooks, but I don't like binder notebooks because they're clunky and they don't look as sophisticated. I wanted the aesthetic to be something I really liked. And on top of it, some people have gone completely digital, which works for them. But for me, I like to write things down. I like to study things. When I read books, I like to go ahead and write the things down that I've learned. When I'm working on goals, when I'm working on things for my business, I like to be alone with my notebook. It's just a personal preference. But this isn't all about my notebook. So even if you digitize all your lists, these lists will change your life. I have 6 lists that I always keep on me at all times. Always have 6 lists. This is very important to me. We're gonna go through these lists, but first I'm gonna show you the notebook. They have a beautiful black covered notebook, and then they also have a gray one, which I love the gray one. The gray one is so me because it's nice and light colored, and the black looks more professional. So if you're somebody that likes to walk around town with your notebook, then it looks like a deposition, an attorney's deposition, but it gets more dusty and it's darker, and my aesthetic in my house is more calm, neutral colors. So I really like the gray because it's a little bit see-through. There's a blue one too, but it's a stark blue. But I really like this notebook because it's completely customizable. So basically, when you've gone through every single page, all 120 pages, you can just get more pages, and the pages are very cheap. Whenever I write a list down, sometimes I would want another page so that I could make the list a little bit longer, and then I'd have to rewrite the whole list because all the lists are close together so I could find them easily. But in this notebook, you can just grab a page from any point in your notebook and take it out. Look at that. You can just take it out and then put it right back in your notebook. And this is without having to open it as a binder. There's no binder opening. You can get a ring that's bigger for it so that you can put more pages. This is the smallest one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out half of the pages in the notebook so that my notebook is very easy to carry around, because at any given point I'm usually only using about half the pages. So I'm just going to take out half the pages and my notebook will be very slim. And there's also tab inserts, and I also have page inserts, which these are more useful for me. But these are page inserts that you can put in, so I can put recipe cards in one, and then in the other one I can have loose leaf pages, because when I make my video, when I make what I'm going to talk about, I always want a loose page. I just want it to be loose leaf. So for my other notebook, I just cut out all those pages that are left and put it in here. Let me show you. I put it in here so none of the pages is being wasted. We're going to go through the 6 lists that I highly recommend, and also you can use markers to make the pages stand out better. So these markers are from Tombow ABT, and these markers will not bleed through the page. But these Copic sketch markers are very strong and they will bleed through pages. So I recommend getting the skinny markers if you're going to use markers and highlighting it that way. You can also use your label maker. I use the babiest label maker, the smallest label maker there is, because I just don't use it that much. But you can use a clear one or a white one, and you can make a label for your list, your 6 lists, because that's only 6 labels. You can just use plain pencil if you're a very pragmatic person and you don't need all of the color and the pizzazz to get you to do what you have to do, or to get you to look at your goals. So that is my very first list. My very first list is the list of my goals. It's very important that this list is in the front because I want to look over it very often. In fact, once I've written that list, I will take a picture of it and keep it in my phone as well, and it will automatically back up to my Google Drive. On my list of goals, I've organized it to immediate goals. So I have 7 goals, 7 immediate goals that I really am trying really hard to work on. Then I have periphery goals, which are the goals that are on the outskirts. I really need to work on them, but I don't have enough time. You can't make too many goals at once. You're not going to get to any of them. You're just going to get overwhelmed. So maybe 7 is too many. You just need 3 goals. So just focus on 3 goals. So 3 goals, and then your periphery goals. That list can be as long as you want. But really make sure that the goals on your list are actually serving you. You're going to get something for them. They're not just there because society tells you to put them there, or because you feel like that's what you should be doing, or because you're chasing after something that's not real. You know, a lot of the things that we think we're going to get for the things we work for is not real. So really make sure that the goals that you have here are according to your true values. And then after the immediate goals, periphery goals, I have research. So every time I am on the computer, I research things. And I am researching things when I'm on my phone, browsing my phone, and I forget. I forget what I'm supposed to be researching, things that could really add value to my life. We all have weak spots, things that could really fill in some gaps. Oftentimes we're just searching ant hills, or searching some random, I don't know what people search up, gossip or something like that. And it's not helping your life in any way. Have this list on your phone so that when you're on YouTube, you go, oh yeah, I was supposed to look up this thing. And then I have implement. So these things I can do. I just need to implement them, and some of them take work. So I've got to do the work, and I just have to make the time. So that this needs to eventually make it to my to-do list, but I just don't want to clog my to-do list with 10 million tasks, because that's not how to be efficient. You've got to prioritize. You've got to prioritize. If you don't prioritize, you're just going to get bogged down and kill all of your energy. And then wish list. And my wish list are things that I want, but I've got to find. And there are very few things I want because I'm a minimalist. All of your goals, have it on that list. And the very next page is basically an extension of my goals page, which is Alexa commands, dopamine, serotonin. I've been making furniture, so I want to spend some time and really think about the ideas that I have for furniture so I can implement them. And that is part of your goals, but you need a whole separate page because you got to write down all those ideas, and it's going to take a lot more pages. Again, if you run out of pages, just take a page out of one part of your notebook and insert it in. So you can make your list as long as you want. But in the meantime, your list can be scrunched together because you don't have to make all this extra space just in case. And then the next page is business. Where should my energy go? How can I be better at being more explicit? And the more organized you are with your house, the better and the easier things flow within reason. Everything that I need to work on in my business, or everything that I feel like I can offer as a part of my vision, which is helping people reach their dream life. When you're looking at your business, you have to look at your talents, you have to clarify your vision, things like that. So all that's written on my business page. The video ideas that I have, again, that's a part of the business list. The very next page is my scheduling. So my schedule that I made, the 15 cubes, I have basically a summary of that, and I have the care, relax, and self-improvement. So some of that stuff is going to have to be saved for 2019, 2020. For instance, learning a new language, I don't have enough time this year to do that. So therefore, you have all the things you want to work on eventually. Again, boil it down according to what you know about yourself, what you think you would like, and what you think you'd be good at. Boil it down and have it all here. Very next page is love, which is things that I love. Things that I have in my life that I love right now, gratitude. And now some people are grateful for literally everything, so they'll take up their whole notebook. I curate the stuff that I am very grateful. I curate the stuff that I'm very grateful for. So not everything makes me extraordinarily happy. So the things that make me happy that I love seeing, like sundresses and crystals, the rainbows that come off the crystals, and things like that are personal to you. But also it's very important to have a page of your heart's desires, no matter how bizarre it sounds. The reason why it's important to write this down is because it shows you who you are, what you want, and it shows you where you're at this point in time. But also, how can you reach something if it's never written down? You're never even going to know what you're aiming at because feel too guilty for even wanting it, or you're too scared at looking at it because you don't think it's something you can actually have. It is almost impossible to hit a mark if you're not aiming for the mark. So yes, you might not hit the mark, but at least know what that mark is. So even if it might make you feel bad because you're like, wow, I'm missing out on all this stuff, write it down. So for me, I have half the page with the things I already have that I'm very grateful for and things that I really value. I asked my parents about what I was like in my childhood, and I thought about it, and I thought if I was still like that. And it's very important to write down your heart's desires, because you can get so carried away with pleasing others, some people, or working at your business, me, and then your real heart's desire gets further and further and further away until you don't even recognize it. You just start to conclude that everything that you have or everything that you are is exactly what you always wanted. It's important to know your core, who you really are at the core, and it's important to know what your true values are and the things that you really love and things that make you really happy. So for me, people that are loving, upbeat, and wise really make me happy. And so I have a lot of people in my life, and sometimes I evaluate my life and I think to myself, why do I have this item in my life, or why do I hang around with these types of people? And it really shows you yourself. So when you write these things down, it shows you yourself. If you're so far away from that list, you have to ask yourself, why am I so far away from my values? You know, it's very important to write down this list. This is probably the most important list out of the entire notebook. Then my second to the last page is my personality. That's my hobby, is personality typing. And I love the systems. I love the systems, not because I love systems. I like being independent, but it's because it helps me to understand others. People are complex, but they're not that complex if you understand motivations. So it's very important to me. Personality typing is very important, and it might not be important to you, but whatever you're working on, just call it your working on list. Whatever you're working on, whether you're reading books and you want to write down the wisdom you're figuring out from that, or you're going through the dictionary and you're learning new things, write it down. And for me, the personality typing is very, very important for me to know what my talents are, what my weaknesses are, and also to understand people and human nature and things like that. And people that don't like to be put into a box, well, they're falling into the box of people that like to be unpredictable and unique. So the very last thing is recipes, and recipes are important that I have them written down so that I can go ahead, put them into my phone. I can plan out my meals very easily because it's all there, and I can see what goes into each thing. So I don't have the exact increment, but I have all of the things that go into banana nut bread, for instance, and I can go and make the list immediately, make the shopping list. So this is basically an easy list for me to make a shopping list off of. So having all of your recipes and then having all the ingredients that go into each one is very important, because you can make the shopping list so easily. And also when it's on your phone, take a picture. It's on your phone. You can go stop by the store if you're out already and just pick up something for one meal and you're good to go. So those are the 6 lists that I keep, and it's changed my life. Those 6 lists. Of course, I have on my Google Drive, I have lists of my favorite movies, lists of my favorite restaurants to eat at, because sometimes I'm indecisive. Helps me to remember all the options. So, you know, you can have more lists in your notebook, but those I just digitize. It's easier for me to keep those digital, and it's easier for me to keep these written. I hope that this video helped you out. If I missed the list that you keep a list of and it really helps you out, let me know. Sharing is caring. I want to know. So let me know, and I will see you guys in the next minimalist and organization video next Sunday. Thank you guys for watching.